What do I think is the best aspect of this hobby? I answer this question and more in this month's Q&A. It's coming right up. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. And if you're new to the channel and you want to keep up to date with the Wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please subscribe and hit the bell button to turn on all notifications so you don't miss an upload. Right, happy new year to everyone, and welcome to this month's non-Necron Q&A, where I answer all of your questions from the previous video. Now, before I do that, I've got a question for you. So it's 2020, and I would love to know, what are your hobby goals for this year? Let me know in the comments box below, and whilst you're there, don't forget to ask me a question for next month's Q&A. Right, let's get straight on with your questions. Okay, so the first question is from 6+ Stevo, and Stevo says, I know you love making YouTube content and there is loads to enjoy about creating content, but my question is this: what do you least enjoy about being a YouTuber, and have you had any bad experiences? Okay, so bad experiences, the only bad experiences is when you've recorded a video and it's taken you forever and something happens to ruin that. For me, it's recording, funny enough, a Q&A. It was like an hour long, and then I realised after I recorded it, I didn't turn the microphone on, had no sound. Those are like the bad experiences, because you know, it takes a lot of effort to make a video, and when something like that happens, then it's a bit soul destroying, but you just have to soldier on, pick yourself up, and just continue and sort of redo it, basically. So that's the only bad experiences really that I've had. What do I least enjoy about it? What I least enjoy about it is that I can't get as much hobby done as I would like, because I'm spending time doing the videos, and that time could be spent doing hobby. So my hobby is slowed down a little. But on the flip side to that, if I wasn't making YouTube videos, maybe I wouldn't be so inspired to do the hobby as I am. So I don't know, if I didn't have the YouTube channel, would I actually do more hobby? Or maybe by now I would have just fizzled out with the hobby. I don't know. But yeah, obviously time spent on videos is less hobby time, so that's the least favourite, or the thing that I don't like about it as such. Great question, Stevo, thank you for that. I always enjoy questions about YouTube as well as about the hobby, so if you've got any questions about YouTube, yeah, let me know. Okay, next question is from Old Average Brit Gaming. There are links to his channel and everyone else's channel in the description below, so check out the links. But yeah, Nick from Old Average Brit Gaming says, what are your thoughts on channels that excessively use Games Workshop imagery and not their own art or models? Are there IP concerns, or are hobby channels too small to be noticed? Okay, that's a good question. Obviously, in an ideal world, it is better to use nothing that's copyrighted material. And I've certainly tried my best to not use copyright material. I have sneaked in a couple of Games Workshop images into thumbnails and into my videos, but just occasionally, and that's only because maybe I don't have the model, or my model's not painted, or I don't have an image of that model when I'm editing. But of course you're talking about excessive use, and excessive use is a different story. And I think it's up to that channel to take, if they want to take that risk, then that is up to them. There is a risk. It doesn't matter how big or small you are, you can easily be picked up. When I started the channel, I actually was using Star Trek music, because I'm a massive Star Trek fan, and I had a bit of Star Trek music in my videos, and some of those videos were flagged up straight away, copyright music. and some weren't. I even went through a stage of using no music in my videos. You know, the YouTube library wasn't there back in those days. I got a friend of mine who makes music to make me some music, and he did, and those got copyright striked. Not copyright striked, but I got a warning, and that was music made by my friend. I had to submit a letter from him saying that he made the music. So I've always had issues. Having said that, some of those videos from 10 years ago are still up with the Star Trek music on. I did recently, actually this year, get a few notifications about some of those really old videos, and I went in and I edited out the front, because I only had it on the first like 10 seconds, and I edited out the music. So yeah, it is a risk. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. Now, ideally, in an ideal world, you want to have no copyright infringements on any videos, because one day you might be big, and when you are big, it only takes them to look at one of your older videos and pick it up, and you could start to get in trouble, get demonetized, etc. So it probably really isn't worth the risk. Okay, great question, Nick. Thank you. Next question is from Pop. Excuse me. It's from Popper Monkey 190, and he says, when will be the next video for Necrons Battle Report? I'll probably put this in the wrong Q&A because it's a Necron question. But yeah, whenever I play a game, I make a video. I don't really play games and without videoing it, so I try to play as much as I can. There'll definitely be more battle reports up, and there's been recent battle reports up with obviously Nick from Old Average Bit Gaming, and funny enough from Stevo, 6 Plus Stevo. Hopefully you enjoyed them. They were fun games. Next question is from 6543 Dan, and he says, where does your channel name come from? He's got some other questions as well. Let's answer that one. So when I first started the channel, I was doing Eldar, and I'd named my Eldar the IDICBeer world, and IDIC is the Vulcan philosophy for infinite diversity in infinite combinations. And I felt that Eldar were a bit like Vulcans, had pointed ears, they lived a long time like Vulcans do, and they're quite diverse on the table with the different aspect warriors. You know, you've got the fire dragons, the howling banshees, and I thought infinite diversity, infinite combination, it sort of works with them. And then I opened my YouTube channel after I decided to name my craft world that, and we're looking for names, and IDICBeer was an option that nobody else had taken, so I went with it. So yeah, that's where the name comes from. He also says, what other hobbies do you have? Other hobbies? Snooker. I really enjoy playing snooker. I play in a local league. I just play once a week at the moment. I used to play a lot more, but once a week just because of family commitments, being a single dad, etc. So yeah, snooker's my other big hobby, and like most people, you know, I enjoy movies and TV series. I'm watching Bates Motel at the moment. I've watched the first 2 seasons, absolutely love it. I enjoyed the old Psycho films anyway. But yeah, that's really my main hobbies. He also says, when you do your next in-home tournament, will you film it? Yes, I will definitely film it. So obviously I filmed the one that I did previously, and I'm hoping to film the next one as well. It'd be awesome. Excuse me. Right, the next question is from Brush and Quill. He says, if Battlefleet Gothic were to come back, would we see the return or emergence of your Necron fleet? Can't remember if you have the models. Okay, I don't have a Necron fleet. I do have, excuse me, I've got a missed call from my mum. That's alright, no problem, I'm just recording a video. She's not very well, no, she didn't go to school today, she's in bed at the moment. No, she's not very well at all, she's been up all night coughing and everything. No, I'll have to sort it out, I'll see how she feels later. Yeah, alright. Okay, thanks Em, yeah, love you, bye. Right, sorry about that. Yes, my daughter is not very well at the moment. She's upstairs in bed. So, right, okay, so, yeah, I don't have a Necron fleet. I do have a Eldar fleet, quite a large Eldar fleet. In actual fact, it's 2 Eldar separate fleets put together and all painted the same. And yeah, it looks awesome. I love the Eldar fleet. I do want a Tyranid fleet, and I do want a Necron fleet. And I would love to see Battlefleet Gothic return. I think it'd be pretty cool. Will it return? I don't think it will, but who knows. But yeah, I'd love a Necron fleet. I nearly bought one off of eBay. It was a massive, massive Necron fleet, but it was about £200, and I just didn't have the funds at the time. But I would love that. I'd love to have a Necron fleet. Okay, next question is from M Wargames, Richard, and he says, do you think Games Workshop should re-release all books and codices with the current FAQ rules, points, and should it be at a discounted price? Obviously the chapter approved now has all the points for all the armies, which is brilliant. It would be nice to have all the FAQs and rules in a book. Should it be free? It's Games Workshop, it won't be free. It's a problem, isn't it? I mean, Nick came from Old Average Brit Gaming with his Imperial Fist. I think he had 4 books to run that army. He had like Vigilus Prime, whatever it's called, the Vigilus book, the Space Marine book, chapter approved. Yeah, it's a problem. It would be nice, wouldn't it, if we just had a book with all the rules in. It's always been an issue. I mean, going back to the old chapter approved, I mean, when chapter approved came out like 15 years ago, they had points updates in there, like FAQs and points updates in a book which they sold once a year. And it's always been a problem. He also asks me about food. He says, is there any food you hate or can't eat because you just doesn't agree with you? Okay, food I hate. I'm not a fan of cream cheese, and that's because when I was a kid, it was Christmas, I had cream cheese on toast, and then I was violently sick afterwards. Now, I don't actually think it was anything to do with the cream cheese. I think I was just greedy and ate too much. However, I can't stomach cream cheese now. So cream cheese I don't like, and I'm not really a fish fan. I can eat fish. I don't mind if it's in like batter and stuff, but you put a trout on the plate in front of me and I'm not really going to be eating it. Yeah, so that's my 2 dislikes. I used to hate mushrooms. I used to think they were like eating snails, but I quite like them now because obviously as you get older, your taste buds change, don't they? Okay, next question is from Peter Smith. He says, what is your favourite mission or game type and why? Okay, favourite mission. One of my favourite missions is the 4th edition rescue mission, where you have 6 counters face down, basically tokens, and then you roll a dice at the beginning of the game, and whatever dice comes up, that's the counter, which is the objective. And then when you walk a unit onto the counter, you pick it up, and if it's the dice number that you rolled, you hold the objective, the others disappear, and if it's not, then that one's disregarded. And it's a bit of a cat and mouse game. So do I go on the objective with risking that it's exposed as the objective, and then your opponent knows exactly what to do, so it's quite cagey. It's a great game to play with more than 2 players as well. It's one of my favourite missions, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to say the rescue mission. Game type, I do prefer matched play because you know what you're getting into, rather than say like open play and stuff. I mean, I don't mind playing a fun game now and again, but I do prefer the match play. Okay, next question is from Paranormal Stupidity. He says, if you do end up having a large event, have you thought about having it at Warhammer World? It would be awesome, although I have heard that you are not allowed to film in the gaming hall. Yeah, Warhammer World, I mean, it would be awesome. I know, you're right, I don't think you can film in Warhammer World. It is quite far away from me. Travelling is my issue, plus looking after my daughter is an issue, you know, childcare and stuff, so I don't know that they would be ideal for me that way, so I'd rather have it a bit more local, to be honest. Next question is from Seth Conyers, and he says, you said you like your job, what do you do? Okay, I am in retail, and yeah, I'm a manager of a retail store selling luxury electronic items. I'm not going to reveal too much because it's a bit personal, but yeah, basically I'm in sales, which is why I work Saturday and Sunday, and at Christmas late night shopping. So yeah, it's been really taking up my time. Okay, next question is Jean du Toit, and he says, if I do want to magnetise my model bases, what would you suggest just doing super glue and then a spritz of super glue activator? Super glue would work absolutely fine. Just be careful when you use super glue with painted models. If they're near the painted models, they can make them like burn and go like white. So be very careful of that. Make sure that you put your models in a very well vented place. Now, don't super glue them, put them in a box or anything, because that will ruin the paintwork. Personally, I like to use a tiny bit of green stuff first and then super glue. I don't use super glue activator, never really felt I needed it, but yeah, that would be one of the biggest advice I would say. Definitely make sure it's in a really well ventilated room. You don't want that super glue burning your paint jobs. Okay, next question is from Battleforged Brothers, and he says, awesome questions and answers, thank you. Question for the next one, would you be intimidated if you were to start 40k now, if you knew nothing about, if you knew nothing that you currently know about the hobby? Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm intimidated just starting my Noise Marine army, because, you know, it's the rules and stuff, it can be very hard work. And of course, not to mention the expense. I mean, everything's so expensive now compared to when I first started. I'm quite lucky in that I have quite a big collection of models, so my expense is just a model here and there now. But if I was starting new, you know, you'd have to have a reasonable amount of money to get into this hobby. And would I be able to do that? I don't know, my current situation, maybe not. But yeah, no, definitely it would be very intimidating, I think. But hopefully, you know, channels like my channel really helps people get into the hobby a bit more and understand it a bit more. So I probably would do the same. I'd be looking on YouTube and getting help and advice from everyone. Great question, thank you. Next question is from RedGreen09. He said, question for next time. Why no link to me? There was a link to you. It was in the description below. Everyone's channel is listed in there. It says, and what do you think of new YouTube BS age stuff? Oh yes, okay, so made for kids, not adults. Well, obviously it's not necessarily YouTube, it's, well, it is and it isn't, but it's obviously the FCA who fined YouTube $180 million, I believe it was, and YouTube basically have given the FCA authorization to go through the YouTube videos once every so often to make sure that people aren't taking advantage of the money making situation on YouTube, because there are a lot of channels out there which make videos which are specifically designed to target children, and they're making a lot of money from them. And obviously the FCA thing is about targeting or guessing information from under 13-year-olds, data which you're not allowed to collate data from children under the age of 13. and there are children under the age of 13 watching these videos, and YouTube's collating data which is illegal, and that's what it's all about, and they're trying to stop that from happening. So it is a bit, you know, it's not great, but it is what it is. I mean, it's the law, and everyone's trying to make sure that children under the age of 13 are protected. So, no, I think that it is what it is. You know, it can't be helped, I suppose. So, yeah, we just got to do our best. I mean, I obviously have Necron Girl sometimes on my channel, but my videos are still made for adults. You have to look at my whole history of my channel, and of most of my viewers are age 25 upwards. Got very, very tiny percentage of 13-year-olds that watch my channel. So I know that my videos, you know, that whether my Necron Girl's in them or not, they're always made for adults. I've never made a video for children, and it's not about, it's about the big channels making lots of money from taking advantage of making videos on children, you know, with their stupid Barbie dolls. Oh yeah, let's go to the beach. And you see these like children playing with these Barbie dolls, and you can clearly see that the adults are videoing in them, and they're being made specifically to target children who love to watch long videos over and over again, get awesome watch time, and they'll be making a bundle of money from ad revenue. Okay, next question is from Dogge, and he says, certain US celebrities have been reportedly known to collect and or play Warhammer 40k, including the late Robin Williams, Vin Diesel, Billy Crystal, Christine Dunst, really, Dustin Hoffman, Trey Parker of South Park fame, Ansel Elgort, young and upcoming actor in Hollywood, Bill Murray. But which UK celebrities have been known to collect and or play Warhammer 40k that you know of? Quite a big list there. Some I knew, some I didn't. UK celebrities. Wow. I know that, so it's not UK, but I know that the snooker player, world champion, or former world champion snooker player, Neil Robertson, he's massively into the hobby, but he's from Australia, but he does live in the UK. But I don't really know anyone else, to be honest with you. If you know of any UK celebrities, then let us know in the comments box below. It'd be great to find out. Yeah, it's awesome. Next question is from JamJar34, and he says, what models have you been impressed with this year from the armies you have and others that you don't play? Well, Age of Sigmar models are always pretty impressive, but I think the Slaanesh models that came out have been very, very cool. You know, the Keeper of Secrets, pretty cool model. I mean, no, some things I don't like about it, but on the whole it's pretty cool. And I think just the level of quality of the Games Workshop, you know, kick out is just pretty amazing, and they pretty much are never off the mark with their models. Most of the time they do fantastic models. Yeah. Okay, next question is from the GameCraft Dragon, and he says, what do you think is the best aspect of this hobby? This is a great question. When I first started up, it was definitely the gaming. I enjoyed playing the game, and we'd play a game, and then we'd play once a week. We'd play a game, and then I'd straight away that night build an army list ready for the next game, and I had a lot of fun gaming. So gaming's always been close to my heart. However, I think the artistic side of the hobby is the best, because it brings out, you know, there's so many very talented people, creative people, and seeing what comes out of people's minds creatively from a creative point of view is awesome. You know, the conversions and like the green stuff work and the painting and the terrain and the amount of effort that people put into something, it's just awesome. And I think that's the best part of the hobby, really, the creativity of the hobby. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Great question, thank you. Okay, the next question is from Peter Perry, and he says, what is currently your favourite Warhammer 40k model? Wow. It's my answer is always the Tyranid Morlock, because I love that model, but it also can be the model which I'm currently painting or I've just finished. I really like the Necron Cryptek with the cloak. I think that's an awesome little model. And of course I'm really enjoying my Emperor's Children conversions, and I think once they're totally finished painting, which hopefully won't be too long, then they'll be my favourite models. Although they're my models really, because they're all converted out of Bits and Games Workshop and Spellcrow. But yeah, favourite model, I think I'm going to say the Necron Cryptek with the cloak at the moment. It's a pretty cool model. Yeah. Okay, so next question is from Victor Kess, and he says, what would you ask Santa? So yeah, what would I ask Santa for Christmas? I know you asked me this question because I think I asked it to you, but yeah, what do I want from Santa? Nothing really hobby related, because I've got a lot of hobby stuff to do. I'm all hobbied out, so I don't really need anything really, to be fair. So yeah, really just clothes. Could do with some new clothes, to be fair. I haven't really asked for too much for Christmas, you know. Yeah, Christmas for me is just about my kids and my girlfriend. Obviously looking forward for them to open their presents. That's what I enjoy about Christmas, is buying other people presents and watching them open it. If I get some Christmas money, which I might do, I might be tempted to buy a Doom Scythe, because I have one Doom Scythe already. I've got one that I was donated, which I'm going to try and sort out in 2020, so another one sounds sensible to me, so I can do the 3 Doom Scythe thing. But yeah, I haven't really asked for too much for Christmas, to be honest with you. Okay, next question is from Mortis Daemonicus, and he says, if Games Workshop go to 9th edition in 2020-2021, what do you think about perhaps changing Warhammer 40k to Warhammer 50k? With the Primaris arrival, a move to drop Space Marines, the narrative moving past the 13th Black Crusade finally, Psychic Awakening, etc., not dropping 40k, but keeping 8th as the last rules update. So we've got a Horus Heresy 30k, 40k, and then the 50k being the new patch for Games Workshop. Would love ideas on this one. Have been thinking about it since Primaris arrived. It's there if GW want to do it. I hope they don't, because it would just be like another gaming system. I think 40k is just too popular for them to do it. I honestly can't see them doing it. If they did, what would I do? I'd probably still play 40k, just stick with 8th edition. It depends what 50k would entail. Would it entail the same models that I'm using, or would it entail in buying more models, you know, more different factions and stuff? Honestly, I can't see it happening. So I'm not even going to think about it, because I don't think it will happen, to be fair. Yeah. But if it did happen, I probably would just stick to 40k, unless I can use my models in 50k and it becomes really popular. Great question, thank you. Next question is from Danny Halas, and he says, I suppose if it was He says, I suppose if it was it planned or not, your channel is the Necron 40k channel on YouTube. So if Necrons didn't exist as a faction, who'd you base your channel around and why? That's great. What a great question. Yeah. Well, my next favourite army is Tyranids. So I do like Tyranids. So I think it would be Tyranids. I do enjoy my Eldar, but I like Eldar from the model point of view more than their play style. But yeah, I suppose Tyranids maybe would be the main channel focus if there was no Necrons around. Okay, if that were to happen, no Necrons around, what army would you prefer that I covered? Because I'd be interested in this. Eldar or Tyranids? Because potentially if I cover a second army in 2020, which may happen, let me know which one, Eldar or Tyranids. And whilst you're there, don't forget to ask me a question for next month's Q&A. Beam me up.